I think it's important to talk about sex because I think we have so much shame around it, especially men. We feel like if we talk about sex or if we want to ask questions about sex, that there's something wrong with us, and we know this is not true. But where does this sexual shame come from? And how do we move through it? Well, in my 30s, I was really struggling with this. In my 20s, I was all about sex. And then in my 30s, I started feeling really weird about asking for what I wanted in bed. And I remember thinking, what happened to me? Why don't I want to talk about sex? I used to love talking about sex. And I also stopped masturbating. And I remember thinking, what's wrong with me? I've gone from being someone who is like super open and like really desiring sex to not wanting to talk about it at all. And then I realized that the reason why I'd stopped talking about sex and the reason why I felt weird about masturbating was because of shame. Because in my family system, sex was always this taboo subject that we didn't talk about. And when you grow up in a culture like this, you end up believing that sexual desires are shameful. And so you either suppress your sexual side or you go into like a constant search for sex because you feel like there's something wrong with you. And neither of these things are true. There's nothing wrong with you. You just need to start feeling comfortable with having this conversation. And I do think that the first step to moving through sexual shame is realizing that you have it. Once I realized I had sexual shame, I started to learn how to have a healthy relationship with my sexuality. So in this video, I want to talk about 3 things that help me move through my sexual shame. And I hope that this helps you move through any sexual shame that you might have. No, one is really embracing your inner child. When you think about your childhood, when did you stop feeling comfortable talking about sex? Was it when you entered puberty? Was it when you entered school? Was it when you were watching certain videos online? And I think by exploring this with a therapist or even on your own, you can learn to embrace this part of you and heal this part of you. The second thing that helped me was learning about my attachment style. So I have a whole video on this, but basically understanding how my past relationships have affected my sexual beliefs and my sexual patterns and my sexual desires was really helpful for me. If you want more information on this, please watch that video. And third, which is probably one of the most important things that has shifted for me, is actually starting to have the conversation. The hardest part for me was starting the conversation. It was starting the conversation with my partner about what I needed and what I wanted. And once I started having that conversation, everything changed. Everything changed. My relationships became more fulfilling. I learned how to self-pleasure in a way that felt good for me, instead of feeling weird about it or bad about it. And I realized that having sexual desires is not shameful. It's actually beautiful. It's actually really beautiful. But it takes courage to have this conversation across decades of shame. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.